The rain had just started to fall when the homeless girl ran toward the screaming child, unaware that a single moment was about to awaken the fury and the mercy of 200 Hell's Angels. The biker's son was crying, a dirty cop's shadow loomed over him, and the girl had nothing to lose except her own safety. What happened in the next few minutes would shake an entire city, unite strangers, and prove that kindness can roar louder than fear, but no one watching could have guessed how far it would go. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that restore faith in humanity, please like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel, Only Kindness, right now. Her name was Mira Holloway, and most people didn't even see her. She slept under the old railway bridge near Crestwood Street, wrapped in a torn jacket that once belonged to someone else's forgotten life. Mira was 17, thin from hunger, bruised from a world that never apologized, and invisible to almost everyone who passed by. But she noticed things others didn't. She noticed the sound of footsteps that didn't match the rhythm of the street. She noticed fear in voices before it turned into screams. And that evening, as rain blurred the neon lights and traffic hummed indifferently, she noticed a small boy crying near a closed convenience store, his backpack soaked and his hands shaking. The boy's name was Noah Cade, though Mira didn't know that yet. He was 10 years old, waiting for his father to finish a meeting nearby. His phone was dead, his jacket too thin for the cold, and standing over him was a police officer whose badge was scratched and whose eyes were empty in a way Mira recognized too well. The officer's voice was low, sharp, and wrong. He accused the boy of stealing, demanded answers, and grabbed his arm too tightly. Noah cried louder, pleading, trying to explain, but fear had already stolen his words. People walked past, some looked away, some pretended not to hear. Mira didn't. She stepped forward before her mind could catch up with her body. She knew the risk. She knew how cops treated kids like her, girls with no address and no one to defend them. But she also knew what happened when no one intervened. Mira placed herself between the officer and the boy, her voice trembling but firm, her eyes locked on the man's face. She said she had seen everything, said the boy had done nothing wrong, said there were cameras pointing right at them. It was a lie, but it was spoken with conviction. The officer's grip tightened, then loosened. His anger turned toward Mira, his threats sharper now, his hand hovering near his belt. For a moment, it felt like the rain itself was holding its breath. Then a motorcycle engine roared in the distance, deep and unmistakable. The officer released Noah and backed away, muttering warnings, disappearing into the night as quickly as he had arrived. Noah collapsed into tears, clutching Mira's jacket as if it were a lifeline. She knelt beside him, whispering comfort, wiping rain from his face with sleeves already soaked. She didn't ask for thanks. She didn't ask for anything. When headlights swept across the street and a massive biker pulled up, Mira stood slowly, ready to vanish before trouble followed her. The biker's name was Grant Cade, and the moment he saw his son safe, alive, and clinging to a homeless girl, his world stopped. Grant was a Hell's Angels road captain, known across state lines for his size, his scars, and the thunder of his presence. But when Noah pointed at Mira and said she had saved him, Grant's hardened expression cracked into something raw and human. He listened as Noah explained what happened, every word hitting Grant like a hammer. Rage burned in him, not wild or reckless, but controlled, focused, and protective. Grant didn't shout, he didn't threaten, he simply thanked Mira, offered her food, dry clothes, and a place to warm up. She hesitated, pride and fear battling inside her, but hunger won. Over coffee and borrowed warmth, Mira told pieces of her story. Foster homes that failed, nights spent hiding, learning early that help often came with a price. Grant listened without interrupting. When Mira finished, he made a phone call that would echo through the city by sunrise. By morning, the rumor had spread. A homeless girl had protected a biker's son from a corrupt cop. By noon, engines began to roll in. One by one, then in waves, motorcycles filled Crestwood Street. 200 Hell's Angels arrived, not with violence, not with threats, but with purpose. They brought food trucks, donated clothes, blankets, medical aid, and lawyers. They shut down the block legally, peacefully, turning a forgotten corner into a place of safety. The dirty cop was reported, investigated, and quietly suspended. Cameras suddenly appeared where there had been none before. Mira stood among them, overwhelmed, tears streaking down her face as she realized this was not a trap, not a trick. For the first time, the world had shown up for her. Grant announced the creation of a foundation in her name to protect homeless youth and hold abuse accountable. The Angels rebuilt the shelter near the bridge, staffed it with volunteers, and ensured Mira would never sleep cold again. She was enrolled in school, given counseling, and offered something she had never known: stability. Weeks later, as the city returned to its routines, something had changed beneath the surface. People remembered. They looked twice at the invisible. Mira visited the shelter every evening, helping kids who reminded her of who she had been. Noah rode his bike nearby, laughing freely, safe. And Grant, once feared, became known for something else entirely. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that courage doesn't always wear a uniform and kindness can come from the most unexpected places, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Only Kindness. And before this story ends, we ask you to comment below and tell us what part touched your heart the most.